All right, so today we're diving into something that, well, sounds pretty wild. Like, imagine getting paid to watch YouTube. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right?
Right.
We're talking about this concept of universal basic income, UBI,
Yeah.
but with a twist, kind of. What if it wasn't the government sending out those checks? What if it was YouTube?
Mm.
I know, sounds kind of crazy. But we've got some sources here that actually explore this idea.
Yeah, when you first hear it, it sounds, I don't know, like a fantasy. But then you start looking at the numbers, the actual revenue YouTube generates, and things start to get interesting.
Okay, so let's talk numbers then.
Go.
How much are we talking about here?
Well, just in 2022, from ads alone, YouTube brought in over $28 billion.
Wow.
So even a small fraction of that, I mean, even a tiny slice, if it was redistributed among users, it could make a real difference.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see where you're going with this. So, like, imagine, just scrolling through your feed like you do every day, watching videos, leaving comments, maybe even making your own stuff. And just for being an active part of, like, the YouTube community, you start getting a little extra cash each month. Like, it's almost like getting rewarded for something you're already doing anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But, okay, let's get practical here. How would this actually work? Like, what are the mechanics of YouTube UBI?
So one of the models that's been proposed is direct revenue sharing. So basically, a chunk of YouTube's ad revenue, it gets allocated to users. And the amount each person gets, it depends on how active they are.
Oh, so, like, the more you watch, the more you comment, the more you create your own content, the more you could earn.
Exactly. Think of it like a tiered system or something. Even casual viewers would get something.
That's interesting because it seems like it could kind of solve some of the problems with YouTube's current partner program, right? Because right now, only a small percentage of creators can actually make money from their content.
Right.
Could this, like, level the playing field a bit?
Absolutely. That's the idea. By, expanding monetization to all users, not just the big creators, it creates a more equitable system.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
But how do you, make sure everyone gets a fair share? Like, how do you measure someone's contribution?
Well, some of the research suggests using AI, not just to look at views, but to actually analyze all forms of user engagement.
Oh, interesting.
So, comments, likes, shares, the whole picture, basically, to make sure it's fair for everyone.
Okay, but now I'm thinking, wouldn't a system that rewards, like, all activity, no matter the quality, wouldn't that lead to a ton of, I don't know, low-effort content? Like, how do you make sure quality stuff still gets noticed?
That's a really important point. There's definitely a risk of, incentivizing the wrong kinds of behavior. Because think about it. If your earnings are tied to engagement, there's going to be a temptation to, like, prioritize quantity over quality.
Right.
You might see more, clickbaity titles, repetitive content, stuff designed to, like, game the system.
Makes sense. Okay, but then there's a whole technical side of things. How could YouTube handle, like, paying out to potentially billions of users? I mean, we're talking tiny payments each time, right?
Yeah.
Our source material mentioned blockchain and crypto, but they didn't really get into the details. Can you break that down for us a bit?
Sure. So let's talk about blockchain first. At its core, it's a secure, transparent way to track transactions. And in the context of YouTube UBI, it could be used to create a system where every view, like, comment, piece of content you make, it's all logged and associated with, a tiny payment.
So it's like a giant digital ledger keeping track of everything.
Exactly.
Okay, and that's where the cryptocurrency comes in.
Right. Imagine earning, like, tokens for everything you do on YouTube, watching videos, liking stuff, even leaving a thoughtful comment. And these tokens, you could then convert them into actual money or use them to, I don't know, buy stuff within YouTube.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like those arcade games. You collect tickets and then trade them in for prizes.
Yeah.
Except these tickets could be worth real money.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, I can see how that would be appealing. But realistically, could this work on a platform as huge as YouTube?
Well, that's where the question of scalability comes in. Processing billions of microtransactions in real time, it's a massive task. But there are platforms out there already doing similar things. Take the Brave browser, for example. Yeah, so with Brave, they reward users with this cryptocurrency called BA. And you get it for viewing ads, but, like, privacy-respecting ads, it's an interesting approach, kind of like micropayments for your attention. And they already have millions of users.
Huh. So it's not just theoretical then. It's actually, like, happening. But scaling that up to YouTube, I mean, that's got to be a whole other beast, right?
Oh, absolutely. It would be a huge undertaking, no doubt. But the technology is there, and it's getting better all the time. With enough resources, and some clever thinking, I think it's possible.
Okay, so let's say, hypothetically, they figure it out. YouTube launches this UBI program. How do you think it would change the platform itself? Like, would we see different kinds of videos?
Well, it's hard to say for sure, but I think we could see some pretty interesting shifts. On the one hand, you might see like an explosion of creativity. People would be more likely to share their, passions and ideas because they know they could potentially earn something from it. So we might see more niche content, educational stuff, diverse voices that wouldn't have had a platform before.
Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty amazing. But wouldn't there also be like a flood of low-effort content? Because if everyone's getting paid just for participating, doesn't that kind of lower the overall quality?
Yeah, that's a valid concern. And it's something you two would have to, address very carefully. They need to find that balance between rewarding participation and also making sure the quality content gets, it gets seen.
So like maybe a multi-tiered system where higher quality stuff gets more rewards.
Right, exactly. So it's not just about engagement, They could factor in things like originality, educational value, even the impact it has on the community.
So almost like a merit-based system within the UBI framework.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It would have to be more nuanced, go beyond just views and likes. AI could play a role, analyzing the content, but human oversight would be crucial too.
To avoid bias and all that.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the creators, but what about the viewers? How would this change, like, how people experience YouTube? Would they be more picky about what they watch?
That's a good question. It's possible, yeah. Knowing that their views are directly, supporting someone, they might become more selective. Maybe look for creators whose values align with their own.
Because they know that watching is like a form of support.
Right, it's like voting with your views.
Yeah, I like that.
They're choosing to support the kind of content you want to see more of.
Okay, but let's flip the script for a second. What about the potential downsides?
Yeah.
What are some of the things we should be wary of?
Well, one big one is privacy. If YouTube's going to be tracking all this user engagement to, distribute the payments, there needs to be total transparency about how that data is being collected, how it's used, all of that.
Yeah, that's a huge one. And we've seen how much trouble companies can get into with data privacy.
Right.
So YouTube would have to be extremely careful there. What else?
Another potential issue is economic disparity. A UBI system that's tied to online engagement, it could actually make existing inequalities worse.
How so?
Well, people with more free time, better internet access, they would benefit more, right?
But wouldn't solve income inequality, it might just shift it around.
Exactly.
And it could create a new kind of digital divide almost.
Yeah, where people who are already marginalized are even further behind.
Okay, that's a really important point. Anything else?
Yeah. We also have to think about the psychological impact. If your livelihood is directly linked to your online activity, it could create a lot of pressure, a lot of competition. People might feel like they have to be constantly creating, constantly engaging just to, keep up.
Yeah, like a never-ending hustle.
Right.
And we already see how damaging that can be with the gig economy.
Exactly.
Okay, so clearly there are a lot of complexities here. But before we get too deep into the hypothetical, I want to go back to those real-world examples we talked about earlier, like the Brave browser with its BAT reward system. Can you remind us how that works again?
Sure. So with Brave, users can choose to turn on Brave rewards. And that lets them see ads, but they're different from regular ads. They're not based on tracking your browsing history or anything like that.
So it's not like constantly bombarding you with targeted ads.
Yeah. No, it's more opt-in. You choose to see ads that are relevant to your interests, and you get rewarded for it.
Okay, I can see how that would be more appealing. But how does the actual reward system work?
So every time you see an ad, you earn a little bit of BA, which is a cryptocurrency. And then you can use that B to tip creators you like or support websites you value. You can even trade it for other cryptocurrencies.
You're getting paid to watch ads, but you're in control of how your attention is used.
Exactly.
And it's gaining traction, right?
Yeah, they have over 50 million users now. And the Beat ecosystem it's growing steadily. It's still early, but it's a good example of how these micro payment systems and cryptocurrency, how they can be used to create a more equitable online experience.
Okay, cool. Now, what about Twitch? They have that bits system, right, for viewers to tip streamers.
Yeah, Twitch bits. They're a way for viewers to, show appreciation for the streamers and support them financially.
So it's like a digital tip jar.
Yeah, pretty much. You can buy bits directly through Twitch, or you can earn them by watching ads or doing certain tasks.
And viewers use them to, like, cheer on their favorite streamers.
Yeah, or to unlock special emotes or even play games during the stream.
Oh, cool. And those bits, they turn into real money for the streamers.
Yeah, Twitch takes a small cut, but most of it goes to the streamer. For
Yeah.
a lot of them, it's a significant source of income.
So it's interesting to see how these platforms are finding new ways to monetize engagement and to create new income streams for creators.
Right.
It feels like we're moving towards a more, I don't know, participatory model
Right.
where users aren't just passive, they're actually contributing to the digital economy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as technology keeps evolving.
We're going to see even more of that, I think, more innovative approaches to user monetization.
So YouTube UBI might still seem, far-fetched to some people.
Yeah.
But these examples show that the basic concepts are already out there. Who knows, maybe someday watching YouTube will be more than just, entertainment. Maybe it'll be a legitimate way to earn a living.
It's a fascinating thought and definitely something worth exploring further.
I don't know about you, but it feels like, we're on the edge of something big here. Like a whole new way of thinking about work, about income. A few years ago, this whole idea of getting paid to watch YouTube, it would have been a joke.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's making us question,
Yeah.
what does it even mean to create value?
Yeah.
Especially in this digital world we live in.
It really is a fascinating thing to think about, isn't it? Like, imagine a world where we're just engaging online, being creative, connecting with people on YouTube. Imagine if that could actually, like, pay the bills.
It's exciting, yeah. But also, I don't know, a little scary. I mean, we've talked about the good stuff, the potential benefits. But there are some serious challenges, too. What do you think is the biggest hurdle, the thing standing in the way of making YouTube UBI a reality?
That's tough. I think for me, it comes down to finding that balance, rewarding people for participating, but also encouraging good content without, creating those weird incentives we talked about, and without making inequality worse. We need transparency. People need to be in control of their data. It's complicated.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Like, to get this right, YouTube would have to change a lot about how it works.
Right.
Maybe even like how we think about the internet as a whole. Do you think we were ready for that kind of change?
That's the big question, isn't it? It would take a lot of collaboration. The tech companies, the people making the rules, the users themselves. We need to have these open discussions about the ethics, the economic impact, how this could change society.
And even if YouTube UBI never actually happens, do you think these conversations are still important?
Oh, absolutely. Like, even just exploring these what-if scenarios, it helps us look at our current systems and imagine something different. It makes us ask tough questions.
About the role of technology, the future of work?
Yeah, all of that.
I mean, we started this whole deep dive wondering if YouTube could pay us to watch.
Yeah.
And I think we're still figuring that out. But we've also stumbled onto something bigger, I think. This idea that our online lives, they can actually become a real part of our economy.
Yeah, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it depends on the choices we make right now, how we design these platforms, the rules we put in place.
It all matters. So what can our listeners do to be part of this conversation, to help shape this future?
Engage with it, ask questions, share your thoughts. Don't be afraid to disagree. Support the creators who are, like, pushing the boundaries, and speak up about the policies you want to see.
Don't just accept things as they are.
Right. Imagine something better and then work for it.
Even if YouTube UBI stays a hypothetical, these conversations can lead to real change. Maybe they'll even inspire something even bigger, something we haven't even thought of yet.
The future's wide open.
Well, on that note, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back next time with another exploration of these big ideas. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.